These days, the average video game takes dozens, sometimes hundreds of people years to complete, and about 3 years ago, I tried making one, all by myself, with no experience. That didn't end too well. However, over the past 3 months, I have started my own unique game in an actual game engine and have made real progress. Remember when I said that many games have hundreds of people working on them? Well, that's typically so a lot of the more specific areas of game development can be given to someone who specializes in that field. But then there's me. Over the past 3 months, I have had to learn 3D modeling, animation, computer science, texturing, level design, sound design, and most importantly, game design. So, how much progress have I actually made? To give you an elevator pitch for my game, it's a 3D first-person platformer taking place in a recently abandoned world. It contains different items across the map that allow you to enter previously inaccessible areas, making it sorta like a Metroidvania. Oh, and I have a very unique story planned for it as well. Think 3D Celeste, but an interconnected world set up like a Metroidvania map. So, what have I done? Previously mentioned Celeste is a game known for its tight controls. The simple responsiveness of Madeline, the game's main character, is what makes playing the game feel so good. For my game, I needed a similar basic control scheme. The player has the ability to move, run, jump, and crouch down. I specifically wanted to make their base movement as basic as possible to allow the items to have a greater effect once unlocked. There are also climbable surfaces and water which have their own unique movement. You'll notice a pixelated effect across the screen. No, this isn't terrible video quality, something I'm definitely not known for. This is a stylistic choice. At this point I had the basic movement down, now I needed a way for the player to mess up that movement. I created an invisible barrier to place across the map called Void. I also created invisible checkpoints that I can plaster across the map. When a player has a little accident, their screen goes fuzzy and they respawn at their last checkpoint. I tied that to a game save system with different files, and now you can actually make progress in my game. It's a revolutionary concept for me. In 1986, Metroid first officially launched, starting a new genre of games called Metroidvanias. As Samus Aran, the main protagonist, explores, she uncovers an alien planet, finding new power-ups which allow her to open up deeper areas of the game. It was a revolutionary concept, and then about 52,000 other games did the exact same thing, because it's a great idea. But for my game, I'm doing it a little differently. Instead of unlocking a power that lets you double jump or destroy a wall, I'm going for a more natural approach, introducing the bug net. In my game, if something isn't directly exposed to light, it's going to be pitch black, making it impossible to see. That's where the bug net comes in. You see those fluttering, yellow, little glowing dots? Those are fireflies. Perfect prey for our net. By scooping up the unsuspecting bugs, you can now magically see, but only for a limited time, so you better hurry up and find some more before you're left in the dark. The graphic design industry is valued at $45.8 billion. Catching someone's eye with visual graphics is very important. A good-looking menu in a video game is no exception. I created my own unique font for the game in Sprite and an online font creator which I can't remember the name of. I then implemented it in my game. I set up different buttons against a dark background, with a tunnel leading to the light. This helps make the font easy to read while also having visual flair. I also wanted to make an options menu. One thing I noticed was a lot of the times in playtesting, people would hold down the sprint button the entire time. To make this easier, I added an auto sprint feature, but left regular walking for anybody who wants to take the game at a slower pace. I also have a full screen option and a camera sensitivity option. I'd like to add a lot more in the future. Fungus growth often requires specific conditions such as moisture, organic substances, and an appropriate temperature to grow. They can thrive in various environments, including damp or decaying organic material. My game world has several locations with large amounts of decaying material, but it might not always have the moisture needed to thrive. This is the water pot. When entering a body of water, you can scoop some of it up, carry it over to a shriveled mushroom, and boom, it grows. Now it serves more of a purpose. I love bouncy objects in games, and I think they especially allow for fun, tight gameplay in platformers. So I made more bouncy stuff. I have a bouncy version of my lily pads, which can be pushed across the water. I also have a bouncy falling leaf, which is an iteration of a normal falling leaf platform. At this point, I had built up a nice sized test level containing all of the stuff I had made. The design really isn't final, it's just meant to showcase ideas. If you want to see a full walkthrough of this demo area so far, including many other things I didn't mention here, I have a Patreon where I post mostly weekly behind the scenes content. So if you want to help support the game's development so I can focus more heavily on its progression, the link is in the description for those of you interested in breaking the endless cycle of watching whatever pops up next on YouTube. I also have a Discord where you can talk to me and others about the game's development. Anyways, thanks for listening to me blabber.